How I booked 37 meetings in the LinkedIn DMs last week. That's the topic of this episode of the How to Make Money as a Creator podcast. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called 7 Figure Creators, where we help LinkedIn creators and small business owners make their first 6, then 7 figures through the platform. And I'm working with over 500 creators now, and it's super fun. So how I booked 37 meetings last week in the LinkedIn DMs. So the way I start conversations in LinkedIn is through 3 ways. Either somebody views my profile, they ask me for a lead magnet, which is something I've created to give away for free and they've asked for it, or somebody sends me a connection request. The reason I know they can be potentially interested people is because the only content I create is 100% geared around how I help my prospects and telling stories in interesting ways. So we help people drive revenue through LinkedIn, and I teach people how to do it through creating content that drives leads, how to turn their profile into a LinkedIn funnel, and then also how to send messages and DMs that actually book calls. And so the only thing that I talk about on LinkedIn is ways on how to do this. And my profile is set up like that. So no matter what, when someone comes to me, if they follow me or connect with me or like my stuff or view my profile, no matter what, I know they're somewhat interested in the thing that I sell. And that's a big problem that people do. So you got to do that first. I've got a lot of other trainings on how to do that. Then before chatting to someone, let's say I see someone viewed my profile, I go to their profile and I analyze it to see if they might be an ideal potential client to qualify them in or out. So things that I will check for. So these are people who are good for us as clients. Are they a business owner or founder or a co-owner or an owner, right? Because we only deal with decision makers. Do they have less than 10 employees? We do work with more, but the prime leads have less than 10, even less than 5, because then we know that they'll do the work. Have they optimized their profile? So have they redone their banner? Have they put some effort into LinkedIn? Have they been active on LinkedIn? The reason why these people are good or generally a bit better is because they know maybe they've gotten a few leads or a few meetings or closed a deal and they know that they just need to enhance it. Are they selling business to business or business to consumer, but high ticket? Something that's say more than $500 or $1,000 a month maybe, or one-off or whatever it is. Are they just selling something that's not a $20 e-commerce product on the platform? Because otherwise we don't do that. Are they selling something right now? Like, do they actually sell something, or are they just creating content for content's sake, joining in on the pyramid scheme of building your LinkedIn brand and then selling a course on how to build your LinkedIn brand? And how many creators are they connected to that I may be connected to, and are they connected to anyone else in the program? And so this is like basic qualification that I used to do, say, in sales and stuff, and people just don't do this. So they have a lot of pointless conversations. And the reason I know who our ICP or ideal client is, you may have noticed I didn't say are they from America, so the USA, or whatever. I didn't say these certain niches, or are they a dentist. I've kind of described the characteristics and the psychographics of the person. And the more you chat to people and the more people you work with, whether it be free or paid, the more you work out where you can then just describe someone as being, I help companies with 10-year-old websites to double their leads with SEO without needing to spend $50,000 on a new website. That is a niche that you can work with, and that's a way that you can strategically position yourself. So I understand who these best people are. And so if they are not our ideal client, I go to this CRM system we've got called Condo, and I put them down as non-ICP, which hides the chat so I can't see the chat in our other native experience. Then before chatting to the person, I quickly glance through and I read through, do we have a previous conversation? Because I don't want to send through something that I've ever sent before. And because I've been having conversations on LinkedIn for like literally 2 years, there's a lot of conversations. And sometimes people might be interested in your stuff now and they might ask for a lead magnet, or they might view your profile, but they haven't viewed it in 6 months because maybe their old lead gen system stopped working, or maybe they just finished another course or program and they're looking at it, or maybe they were just interested and saw the post, but they're somewhat interested. And then what I do is I read through the conversation and I just see where the conversation was at before. And so we've got 4 different ways I tag conversations in our CRM system called Condo, which is a lightweight LinkedIn CRM system. It's waiting for replies. That means I've seen that they're an ideal client, and then I've then been like, okay, that could be someone that's quite cool. I'm going to send them in a message and say hi to them. So I'll say something like, hey Jane, what's going on? I saw you checked out my profile. I went and took a look at yours. I like your post that you posted about like Ray Dalio. My brother gave me his book for my birthday last year, but I haven't actually read it. I've really been meaning to. I was just checking, like, did you check find my profile through my content, or was it the last post about generating leads that you found me? And I'd send that on 3 separate lines, initiating the conversation, right? And then I'm going to tag them into waiting for a reply. Now, if they do not reply, I'm going to follow them up again in about a day, then about 3 days, and about 7 days, right? Because they've shown an expression of interest, I want to follow up. And the way I follow them up is using what's called the LVQ framework, which it means loop value question. I won't go into that now as well. Then when they're in the waiting reply, then if they reply to me, then they go to the next stage in the pipeline called being qualified. So then if, I think I said Jane, if Jane comes back to me and says, yeah, thanks so much, that was like pretty awesome. Oh, thanks for noticing my post as well. I was actually saw your post about generating leads. I haven't been generating many as I want. And then I'll go through a round of qualification questions where I'll just ask questions about them using, again, the LVQ framework, where I'll lube the chat being like, oh, Dan, that really sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Give them a piece of value or insight, then ask them another question, because the goal is to then get them to answer the next question. So then I run through the being qualified, and I use a specific qualification methodology called BANT. And a lot of salespeople will shit on me for this. I don't care. It's what I use because I sell to founders directly. If you're in enterprise sales, you're going to use something different. So cry all you want. I don't care. I use BANT. It means budget, authority, need, and timeline. Before I then book a meeting or have a conversation with them or propose an offer to them, I want to make sure that they're qualified. They're first qualified as my ideal client, but qualified as in for timing. Like for timing as in like, could they be someone who has a higher propensity to buy right now? So I'll ask questions like, hey, have you invested in a lead gen program before for LinkedIn? If they say yes, I know they might have budget. Have said, cool, you're doing any other programs right now? You're kind of trying to do it by yourself. They're like, I'm doing it by myself. Cool. That's timeliness. What's the real reason why you're like really looking into this now? Like something happened. They're like, yeah, my other lead gen stopped happening. That's need. Hey, is it just you or have you got a co-founder as well? No, it's just me. Authority. So I've qualified them, particularly being in the being qualified section. And this conversation may happen over like literally 10 minutes. Like I booked a meeting in 6 minutes yesterday. Like someone came in because someone mentioned me on a webinar, and they came to me and said, hey, Matt. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they said, James mentioned you on a webinar. I'm like, James is a legend. I've known him for 6 months. Are you looking to potentially generate some leads here? And she said, yeah, I am. And I said, cool. Can I ask a couple of questions? Sure. Asked a couple of questions. She actually just went and booked the time herself. And I was like, cool, see you tomorrow, kind of thing. And so you ask these questions in a way, but they can last from like 6 minutes, but they could even last up to 12 months because something might happen. Someone might choose another program or another thing. Like it doesn't really matter, right? Things pop up. And it's usually when, if you look at BANT, B-A-N-T, when the need it most arise, that's when the people have a propensity to buy. A compelling event has to happen. So like, I woke up this morning and I felt like coffee. And so that caused me to go get a coffee. Last night, I was hungry after I finished up for the day, so I went and ate food. Like I had a compelling event or a feeling or something happened that compelled me to do this thing. So like, I run to CrossFit every single day, and I feel a lot better when I go to CrossFit and I work out. And so I'm like compelled now to get all my work done, so then I can then run to the gym and do my CrossFit class because I really look forward to it. And then at the end, I have a protein shake at the CrossFit class. That's like, it also causes me to have this compelling event. So usually when people's emotional states are heightened, that's which causes the need in the compelling event. Then if I've asked these questions, it seems like they're a good fit, and it could take between 6 minutes to 6 months as well. And I could have followed them up many times between them, giving value if they stop replying. Then if they say, yep, if they answer all the questions, I say, hey, look, based on what you've mentioned, I think I might be able to help you. Do you have 20 minutes tomorrow to catch up, to chat, to see if I might be able to help, and I can potentially make an offer to work together? How's 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. your time? So that moves from being qualified into the next stage, which is stage 3, which is called meeting proposed, where I've proposed a meeting. The reason why I propose meetings instead of just sending calendar links is sending a calendar link is rude. And people always think, why the hell are you sending me a calendar link? You should be doing the work. You're the one who wants to meet with me. And in the DM sequence of an interaction you have with someone, the goal is to make the conversation as easy as possible for them to do the next step. So when you propose a time, they choose 11. Cool, what's your name and email? I'll book it in now. Done. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then we move to stage 4, which is meeting booked. And then after the meeting is booked, I'll then send them a video and say, hey, before the meeting, can you just watch this video? It just runs through exactly how our program works, so we don't have to waste time on admin, and we can really get to understand your problems if we might be able to help. Is that okay? And then they say yes, always asking for permission at the end with, is that okay? And then the key for this to work, right, is that you run this system, like how I booked 37 meetings last week of highly qualified individuals, is you want to run this system consistently over time, because all the conversations that you start today may not pay off in the first 30, 60, 90, or even a whole year. But every time you have good conversations with people and all you talk about is the outcome you help people get, let's say you help people get jobs, let's say you're a financial advisor, let's say you're an accountant, literally doesn't matter what you are. As long as you're having that conversation, you could be a recruiter. That's an example where you have a chat with someone, the founder's like, yeah, my last few hires were disastrous. Oh, damn. Why do you think that happened? Oh, we didn't prep this. Oh, that sucks. I've actually got this free resource to give you. Oh, what's the plan then? What are you looking to scale up? And like, you know what I mean? You ask these questions, and maybe they leave, and maybe they go try and hire someone else for 6 months and they come back and that fucked up and it failed. And then they come back to you and they're like, yeah, actually we were chatting for a long time and all you did was give value. And yeah, I do want to work with you now. And then that's how ultimately you book tons and shitloads of meetings in LinkedIn. And it's like my co-founder, Steve, like he closed $100,000 for his web agency through LinkedIn, and he doesn't even have a profile photo or a banner. He's never posted, he's never commented, ever. He looks dodgy as fuck on the platform. But like, it doesn't matter because he started conversations and he just asked probing questions and he just shared his work. That's literally it. And so yeah, that's how you actually book meetings, like with people. Now, the only other thing, one other thing that I have to mention is that I'm saying here that you can extend the chats on a longer time horizon, but if someone comes inbound or they say, I need your help, that's when you switch and you go from taking your time and not rushing them to rushing them. Because when someone's in an emotionally heightened state and they want to buy, so for me, let's say when I'm like craving sugar on a Friday night after I had dinner and I'm like, I want something sweet. And when I'm out after dinner and I'm walking around and I see the first ice cream place, like I'm going to buy that ice cream because like, I don't care that the other ice cream place, it may be a little bit better. It's like this one is just here. So convenience always trumps everything. So when someone comes in as a really emotionally heightened prospect and they want to work with you, then you just want to pull the trigger like straight away. Anyways, guys, that's how I book 37 meetings. If you want to work with me and learn how to do this process, would love to chat. If not, give us a rating. Really enjoy it. But if you do want to chat, literally just go to our website. There's links and stuff down the bottom or whatever. But I'll just keep listening to all the free stuff and then use it and just steal it and just book meetings and stuff. And catch you later.